Good morning, everyone. My name is Heidi Truitt. I am the training manager for Girl Scouts Heart of Central California. And I have been a Girl Scout ever since I was a little girl. I started when I was 6 years old. And at the time, I joined as a Girl Scout Brownie. And one of the first things that I learned as a Girl Scout Brownie was the Brownie Story. And that's what I'm going to share today is the story, the Brownie story that I heard when I was a little girl and just starting in Girl Scouts. So once upon a time, there were two sisters named Mary and Betty who lived in a little house in the north of England. They lived with their father and their grandmother, and their father was a tailor who worked hard all day. At night, he tried his best to keep the house clean, but Mary and Betty just played all day. Children are a burden, the tailor said one day. Children are a blessing, said the grandmother. Not my children, they don't help me at all. But they're not bad children, said the grandmother. They are as playful as little squirrels. And about as helpful, said the tailor. Just then the door flew open and Mary and Betty came in, and they had brought moss and twigs and trees to play with, and they dropped them all on the floor. And the tailor said, well, take all of that stuff outside. Mary said, Betty, you take it out. And Betty kicked the moss and acorns across the room and out the door. And the tailor stormed out. He was just so frustrated. You pick them up, Mary, said Betty. I don't understand why father is angry. And their grandmother said, he is just tired, and you two do not help him. But what could we do, Granny? The girls asked. Many things, my dear. What this house needs is a brownie or two. And they asked, what is a brownie, Granny? And she said, they are very helpful little persons. They used to come before the family was up, and they cleaned and watered the flowers and helped in other little ways. They always ran off before we could see them, but often we heard them dancing and laughing. Oh, Granny, where are they now? Only the wise old owl knows, my dear. Who is the wise old owl, Granny? I don't know, my dear. That night, Mary kept thinking of the brownies. There is an owl living in the big tree near the pond, she thought. If she is the wise old owl, she can tell me where to find the brownie. Mary got up and she ran to the tree. The owl was sitting on a high branch, so she climbed up and said, Please, said Mary, where can I find a brownie? I know of two brownies, said the owl. Tell me, where do they live? In your house, said the owl. Then why don't they help us? Perhaps they don't know what has to be done, said the owl. I can show them, said Mary. Can you? Asked the owl. To find one of the brownies, go to the north side of the pond when the moon is out. Turn yourself around 3 times while you say, Twist me and turn me and show me the elf. I looked in the water and saw. Then look into the pond and see the brownie. You will think of the word that ends the magic rhyme. Mary climbed down and ran to the pond. She turned around 3 times while she said the rhyme. Then she looked into the pond, but she only saw her own face. Why, there is no brownie, just me, she said. And there is no word that seems to rhyme with elf, helf, self, melf, jelf. How silly. Mary looked into the pond again. I am supposed to see a brownie, and I see only myself. Myself? How strange. I have the rhyme, but no brownie. So back Mary went to the tree. What did you see in the pond? Said the owl. I saw nothing but myself, said Mary. Go home and speak to Betty about it, said the owl. Then, if you find the brownies, come to our magic brownie ring. There, all the brownies talk about the helpful things they have done. I help them find new things to do. Mary was surprised. Brownies meet here in the woods? Yes, said the owl. Every time the moon is full, you will hear the call to the brownie ring. Round and round about, turn about and in and out. Come into the brownie ring, ready for most anything. Mary hurried home. She woke Betty and told her what had happened. They both laughed out loud when they realized who the brownies were. They tiptoed down to the kitchen and did every bit of work they could find. When their father came in, he looked around and rubbed his eyes. The table was set, the floor was clean, the room was as bright and shiny as a new penny. Granny, Mary, Betty, he called out, our brownies have come back. For many mornings after that, the tailor tried to get up early enough to thank the brownies, but he was never able to catch them at their work. Early one morning, he heard singing. It must be the brownies, he thought. In the kitchen, he saw Mary and Betty dancing around the room. What have we here? The tailor asked. Where are the brownies? Here, said Mary and Betty. When Granny heard the noise, she came down too. Children are a blessing, said Granny to the tailor. I told you so. And ever after, the tailor's brownies were the joy of his life. Every day, they found more things to do to brighten the house. Sometimes he wondered how they learned to do so much, but he never found out, for he never saw them creeping out to join the other brownies in the magic brownie ring deep in the woods. So this is the story of those first brownies, or basically how Mary and Betty discovered that they could help their family themselves, and that they had a group of people that they could go to learn new things and to share their stories. And that's really, what we hope girls do in Girl Scouts is to get to know other girls and to share their stories and to learn how to help others. We have a saying, we have our Girl Scout promise, and it's on my honor. I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. So being a Girl Scout really is about learning and helping others and serving others. So if you're new to Girl Scouts, I hope you've enjoyed this story of the Brownie Story. It's really something that our Girl Scout brownies learn about when they become Girl Scout brownies. Um, and we have other stories and ways for girls to learn in Girl Scouts. If you are a Girl Scout, I hope you enjoyed this reminder of the Brownie Story. If you're new to Girl Scouts, we recommend trying a Girl Scout troop or some Girl Scout activities. You can find some at girlscoutshcc.org or girlscouts.org, and you can learn more about us as an organization. Thank you and have a wonderful day.